Sharpen a broken drill at home. Have you ever accidentally broken a drill off or lent a box of drills out to a buddy and one or two are broken when they come back? Well, no need to worry. I'm going to show you how to fix them. Make sure you watch the review portion of this video at the end. It is extremely important. Okay, let's get started right now. It's not so bad. We can fix it. Just follow along and use the techniques that I show you, and you can do this. Not a problem. I'm going to sharpen this drill. It's a good quality drill. It's a Dahmer drill. So before I get started, some of the things that we need to know is you need to have actual water for cooling, not quenching. If this gets so hot that it goes I've actually annealed the steel, and it's not as hard as it was before. The drill will not last as long. What I'm going to use to check my angles, I think you guys have seen this before. I'm going to be using this drill gauge to check my angles. On this side here is 118, and on this side is 135. I'll be using the 118 side. I'm going to go in and then rotate up slightly. Go in, rotate up slightly, and it'll put an arc in clearance on our cutting edges. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but that's just a quick way of sharpening. This will cut just as it is, but the web is too thick. See how my web's too thick here? So I really can't puncture through thin material, and that's because the drill was originally this long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to over thin the web, and then I'm going to sharpen the web back to where I want it to be. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to thin the web on this side, and I'm going to go in, it's going to be difficult to see, I'm going to go in here and pick out just past the center point and pick out just past the center point. Now okay, keep in mind I over thinned on purpose so that I can sharpen the drill back to the way I want it. Oops. So I over thinned on the drill. Let's see if I can. I over thinned on the drill. Now I'm going to sharpen it back to the way I want it. Okay, so I blacked this up with a magic marker. Now I'm going to grind the thinning of the web, then I'm going to grind the outside or the cutting edges. Oops. I nicked it a small amount. I nicked the corner right there. So I want to be careful. When I was thinning out, I went too far. Whoops. When I was thinning out, I nicked the corner right here. Yeah, right there. It's very small. It's hard to see. So now I'm going to thin or cut the actual edges. Beautiful angle, nice and sharp. Since this video is about the home shop, I'm going to drill a little bit of brass and some steel. We'll do this brass first. Nice chips come up, easy drilling. Should have put a center punch mark in. Yep, should have put a center punch mark in. Not a problem drilling through that. Okay, I just want to recap some of the techniques I used to sharpen this drill. This part of the video is probably the most important part. You do need to check to make sure that yes, your drill flute lengths are the same length. That's extremely important. The angle, not so much. It depends on what you're cutting. The softer the material, the steeper the angle, the harder the material, the greater the angle. It's hard to see on this guy, so I'm going to show you on this one. If I take a look straight down, if you see my cutting edge, there's a secondary cutting edge here that's created from the thinning of the web. So there's a cutting edge here, and then there's a cutting edge here. Same with on the other side, there's a little cutting edge here and a cutting edge here. I've sharpened this drill probably, I don't know, 50 times, 100 times, and it works and cuts excellently. So let's go through the technique. So when I come down, it's hard to see, but I'm actually, okay, pretend this is my wheel. Here's the center line of my wheel. I'm going to be bringing my drill down on an angle, so I'm going to be coming onto an angle like this, but I'm going to be up like this. So when I come down, I'm going up, and I'm also arcing. And now not that much of an arc, obviously, but just a small amount of arc. So I'm not only coming in, I'm also rotating. I don't know if you can see that technique or not. That's the trick. You have other guys that come in, they say, well, just grind this flat, grind this guy flat, and then come in and grind that flat and grind that flat. The problem with doing that with the flats, without that continuous motion, you're not going to have the material to back up the cutting edge. And without the material to back up the cutting edge, your drill won't last as long. And this is how the pros do it. They sharpen it by hand. In a future video, I will be demonstrating how to use these drill gauge tchotchkes, I guess you could call them. I call them garbage. I don't think they can sharpen worth a damn, but I could be wrong. If you guys have one of these toys and say their works great or whatever, drop me a line, let me know. In my opinion, the only thing you should be using is a grinder, belt sander, and a couple of hand gauges. Anything else for sharpening drills is not required. If you follow the hand technique that I showed you in the previous video, you shouldn't have any issues at all sharpening drills. It'll take some time, but it's worth the effort. I'm glad to see that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, please like and subscribe. It's free and it'll help me out. Just click on the icon that's my face and I'll do the rest. Have an awesome night.